In this video, I'd like to show you one of my favorite tools that I use on Tradingview.com. And I use it mainly to identify or to help me objectively identify support and resistance level. So I'm going to illustrate using Apple. So this tool is free. A lot of people think that in order to use volume profile on Tradingview, one have to subscribe in order to use volume profile. But actually, there is a free volume profile tool that we could use, and it is under here, and this is called a fixed range volume profile. And we are basically going to use this fixed range essentially for us to identify the time range or the price range that we want to generate a profile. And it suits us perfectly because we are looking at a longer term time frame, particularly to identify potential resistance and support level for swing trading. So in order to use this tool, all you have to do is go here and select that tool, and it is called Fixed Range Volume Profile. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in this low here. This is the March 2020 low, the pandemic low, and flip it to the current price level. And as you can see right now, we essentially generate this composite profile here. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to use a tool that is storing the rectangle, okay, the rectangle tool. And I also set it up in such a way that I have generated, for example, let me go draw one of these rectangle tool. And here's a low volume node. Because these low volume node, I want to identify these low volume node as potential resistance and support level, what I call a rejection zone. The reason why I want to look at these or identify these low volume nodes is because at those price levels, there are very little trading activity there. So the traders there either reject the price on the upside or on the downside. So you could see when price come down to those low volume area, either price will bounce off of it or it will go straight through very quickly. And if the price is coming up and hit these low volume nodes, then price could hit resistance and reject, pull back from it or go right to and move on to a higher level without spending too much time on those volume nodes. So that's why I like to look at these to look for potential support or resistance depending on the direction of the price would originate. So let me go and identify these. And first of all, let me show you what I did on this rectangular tool. I have generated, a couple of them template. And here the blue one is basically the demand. And what I did is I basically using a fill of a blue color and using the opacity somewhere around 30%. So it doesn't cover up the candle completely. Okay. And also, in addition to that, I also extend that. Right? I have that extended. And if we look at the tool here, and here we got to extend it right. So it extends all the way past the last price bar. Okay, so basically that's what I did on these. And right now I just identify these as a support area. So when the price comes down, if it bounces off, then essentially we call it sort of like a demand zone, right? Because they're a buyer to bid it back up. So let me go identify a few of these. I'm not going to identify all of them, and then just illustrate the point that I try to make here using this particular tool. Okay, so I identify a few of these level here as potential resistance and support, and let's go through it. As you can see, when price came up here, got rejected and pushed it back down. Right, the next time it come up and got rejected and pushed it back down, then here it went right through and it came back in, and once again came up and got rejected down, and here came right through and rejected, and here it just go right through. And then came up here on this level, then got rejected. And now when it come back here, now it's acted like a support and got rejected back up. Right. So next time it came up here, you see that there is a little bit of a rejection here, but the next day it just went right to. And then when it come down, it got rejected back up. And here you can see that there's a little rejection here. And then it went right to. And now Apple is coming back down here. So I'm going to see would Apple get a rejection back up, or would it come right to and maybe find this area, this zone here to act as a support. and reject it back up. So that's how I use this tool to identify some of these potential, resistance and support level. Let's go and take a look at an example using Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla using the Tradingview fixed volume profile tool. What I did is I basically set up a profile between here at this point and to the latest price here. Right, there seems to be a little flaw here on this tool here. This is supposed to be have no volume because there's a gap, only a little bit of a volume here for today here. So just ignore this this little filled in here. And what I did is basically I identify some of these low volume nodes, and this typically associated with gap or just a short covering or FOMO. Okay, so that's basically what I'm looking at right now, and this level here coming down to fill this gap. And if it move through and move down and fill this gap here and unable to get back up, and I'm looking for this thing to come down to this particular low volume node. And you can see that this little low volume node, there's a lot of resistance and support touches here. It doesn't stay there for too long because not too much trading activity occurred there. That's why you have little volume or not as much volume of these high volume nodes, and then they get rejected back up or rejected back down. So essentially you're looking for that to see would it get it rejected back up again. Now if next time if it goes through, then we basically now it's going to be turned into a from a support level into a resistance level. So in other words, if you're thinking in terms of supply and demand, and essentially become a supply zone instead of a demand zone, right? Then we'll be looking down, and here is this high volume node. That's the POC for this composite, and that's the price level where we saw the highest trading volume there. Okay, so this level is somewhere around 680, right? So keep an eye on that. So these are the levels to keep an eye on, right? Right now it's trading at 940. So let's see what this level is. It's somewhere around 943, 944 area. Okay, and then the 910 would fill this gap, and the 764. Now also the other thing is I also got a longer profile here from this to this the recent price, also the latest price, and you can see some of the low volume node as well. And for this particular move, right, since the March of 2000, basically the low, the pandemic low, or the point of control is down here at $165, $166 level. I mean, this basically is the price level where most of the volume was transacted. So if this thing breaks, right, come down below 500, there's a good possibility eventually this thing will work itself back down to this level here at 165 area, 165, 167. All right, so that's basically how I'm using this tool. So go ahead and experiment with this tool from Tradingview and use it to help you identify some of the potential resistance and support level objectively. This way, it gives you a little bit more clarity on where those support and resistance levels are. So I hope you found this video to be useful and educational, and be sure to smash that thumbs up to help me share and promote this video. Thank you for watching, and good luck on your trading, and stay safe.